Okay, so here we are today. We're here to talk about bugs and creepy crawly things with one of our members of Corvallis BNI. Why don't you introduce yourself and where you work?
Yes, my name is David with Point Pest Control. I am the account manager and sales inspector.
Sounds exciting.
It is.
Okay, so you get dirty in your job, I'm guessing.
Yes, I get dirty.
You crawl under houses, around houses.
Yes. Yeah, I'm the guy that goes out, I check the crawl space, I check your attic, I look for vulnerabilities and then determine what type of pest you're dealing with and get you a quote.
Okay, so what's the most common call you get?
It's going to depend on the time of the year, really. Different pests to different seasons, but we deal mostly with bed bug and then general pest control, rats, things like that. And your general pest control includes, like your earwig, silverfish, spiders, ants, wasps, mice, things like that.
Overall.
Mm-hmm.
So let's talk about a couple of those disgusting things. I don't see as much silverfish as I remember in my childhood.
Mm-hmm.
Are they prevalent up here, or?
It's just going to depend on conditions in a home, but even if you see a few silverfish, it's not uncommon in most homes. But no, there's not really a huge problem as long as conditions are correct in a home.
Okay, gotcha. So I want to talk about what we were just talking about, those beetles that are everywhere, and we saw some in the spring, and then all of a sudden I saw some in my house the other day. What are those?
It's going to depend if they're shaped like a shield.
Yes.
Okay, so generally those would be like a brown marmoset stink bug, something of that nature. Proper identification is key, so I like to come out, do that free inspection, say, okay, this is 100% what you're dealing with, and then give you treatment options.
So if I call you, you come out, you come take a look at everything and decide what it is I need.
That's correct. Mm-hmm.
Okay, get a quote.
Mm-hmm.
We say, good, let's do this. How long does it take you to actually attack whatever pest infestation we have?
So generally once we have a signed agreement and we do payment information, then I schedule one of my technicians to come out, and usually that takes about 2 to 3 days. We have a very quick turnaround.
Good.
Yeah.
Good. Do you do like regular maintenance kind of pest stuff, or you come out yearly?
Yes, we do. So we set you up on a quarterly program in most cases. It's going to depend, again, what type of pest you're dealing with, but most of our customers love having that quarterly maintenance. Best products on the market last about 60 to 90 days. Pests have a tendency to be able to come back if there's not protection on the home. It's called pest control, obviously not eradication for a reason. So
60 to 90 days, that surprises me.
yes.
You did this horrible presentation for our BNI group on bed bugs. Let's
Yes.
talk a little bit about bed bugs, because that seems to be in the news lately.
Yes.
Do we have them here in our area?
Yes. Pretty much every area has bed bugs. Pretty much no matter where you live in the United States, you're going to have some issues with bed bugs.
How do you know if you have a bed bug issue?
So there are some signs that you can look for. You never want to diagnose the bite. That's the first thing. But you want to look at, okay, is there fecal matter? And being able to identify that fecal matter is important. It'll be in clumps usually. It'll look kind of like pepper, but it'll be stuck to like the mattress corners. I mean, bed bugs are tricky because of the way that they operate. I mean, I could talk for hours on them. The best thing you can do is get somebody in pest control or somebody that can properly identify this. There's some pests that look identical, so you want to make sure, okay, this is what we're dealing with. But generally bed bugs will hide in that box spring. They'll start there or at a bedside table, or they'll actually start on the frame itself. And you want to look at all those the little screw holes on the frame. You want to look in tiny areas, the carpet edging. Think about that as well. That's a good area for them to hide, as well as the baseboard, outlet covers. Anywhere within 5 feet of the bed is where they're going to start.
Listening to you makes me really happy that I don't do pest control. Okay, so I'm just going to ask you about a few other pests that I know. Rats, mice. You have a treatment for those as well?
We do.
Okay.
The most important thing with rats and with mice is the first thing I do when I come out is I identify where they're coming into the structure. Let's find out where they're coming in and then why they're coming in. You know, is it harborage? Is it food that's left strewn about? Is there pet food? You know, you think about the neighbors as well. Are they feeding the birds? Do they have chickens? I mean, is there some lady 5 doors down that's feeding all the neighborhood cats? You know, stuff like that is what I look for. So seal it up if it's possible. If it's not, we're going to tell you, hey, look, this is something out of our scope. You need somebody to come in and repair this. Then we can be effective at getting them out. And we'll trap them inside, bait them outside, get them out, keep them out. And that's what we do.
Okay. Cockroaches come to mind?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
You say that.
I've seen a few.
Okay. Those are horrible. Luckily, I haven't ever lived in a house that has cockroach problems, but I've been in houses that have had cockroach problems. Let's talk a little bit about how difficult that is.
Excuse me. So cockroaches can be a little difficult at times, depending on, how much stuff is in the home. Is there a ton of food strewn about? Is it uncleanly? So you need to resolve those issues as well. There is treatment that's possible if you even don't get 100% prep correctly, but it makes it more difficult and it takes longer. So to save cost and things like that, there's a lot of things that we'll talk with customers about. We'll give them a preparation sheet, and then we can address it. We generally have the German cockroach here. Once in a while I've seen an oriental cockroach, but again, identification is key, and then treatment options can be presented. But I've seen them just coming out of everywhere. We usually do about 3 treatments. Basically what we do is we break down their mating cycle so they're not effective at mating anymore, or if they do mate, the growth is going to be hindered in those second and third hatches so that they continue to die off.
They don't sound as scary as bed bugs, though.
No, not as scary as bed bugs, but they carry their fair amount of diseases, so that's why we want to make sure we can get in there and delete the infestation that you have, and then give advisement on how to avoid it in the future. So that's what we do as well.
So what's the best way somebody can get a hold of you if they need your services?
So the best way to get a hold of me is you can either contact the office, which is 844-764-6832, or you can call my personal number, which is 541-619-3686. And I can set you up an inspection. Usually I can be out within a day or two and get you some good advice.
Get all of those pests gone.
Yes, that is what we do.
Perfect. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
That's great.
Awesome.